Standing at a podium surrounding a full circular lecture hall was a lone bipedal insectoid being resembling a praying mantis. His four segmented legs lightly bounced in place as the entire room was bustling with mumbles and chatter that soon died off as attention was drawn to him and his fluttering thorax wing. His segmented exoskeleton bright green with his arms holding a translucent glass plate with two metal segments, one on the top and one on the bottom. The insectoid being begins his presentation as a title soon shows, The Shocking Discovery of a New Species, by SciFi. Greetings to everyone here of the Galactic Systems Chancellors. I have asked you all here to reveal the secret project that we of the High Council have been working on the last 8 stellar cycles. SciFi speaks as the large circular holographic projector behind him kicks on, revealing a small blue orb floating and rotating. This here is a newly discovered planet. It is inside one of the galaxy's arms near the edge. The thing about this planet in particular is that it is the only planet inside its system to hold living, breathing life. Not only is that strange, but what is also strange is that the entire solar system is inside of a void bubble. SciFi says as chatter begins when a zooming out of the system is shown. It shows 10 planets with one massive one having a large elliptical orbit, 2 asteroid belts, and 4 gas planets, one of which could be considered a brown star, but after that, nothing. Just a blank, empty void of space in a full sphere spanning nearly 10 light-years in diameter. Occurrences like this were extremely rare, as void pockets were usually too frigidly cold to hold any form of living species, even those with perfect conditions around the parent star. The probability of this occurring was so astronomically impossible that no one thought they could actually house life. This species which calls this planet home have named it Earth, another name for dirt in the languages spoken there. The species itself is also truly very different from all other known species in the galaxy, but we will get to that in a moment. Truthfully, upon examination, we thought the planet itself was just us all here in the High Council going insane. But no. The planet exists. Its cacophony of species exists, and the one species to truly prosper on it are just as unbelievable, SciFi says as his mandibles click in excitement and his eyes dart from every other species surrounding him. What could possibly make the world seem so impossible to exist to the great ones of the High Council? Speak Triixel Yen, a female voice asks, coming from a red-furred bovine species that has red and white mushrooms growing on its back. The fact the planet has met all classifications to be considered a Gamma-class hellworld for one? SciFi exclaims, causing terrified gasps to envelop the entire hall. Now, as I was saying, this planet has met the perfect conditions for habitation of many species of varying climates. They have insects such as my species, the Triixel Yen, the bovine race of the Haloon, even the frigid cold-loving Kanyanks, all in one planet, but so many more as well. Every member species of this galactic chamber has a form of species on that planet. SciFi says, showing the counterparts of the species that live on the planet, each one shocking the members as they all stare in wonder. From deserts that run upwards of 139 degrees in heat, to frigid colds that reach 200 below zero. This planet holds every conceivable environment known. However, they have storms there that make our own homeworld devastators seem like a light drizzle. Winds gaining speeds over 300 miles per hour, strikes of superheated plasma that explode the very atmosphere around itself, swirling devil pillars that destroy countless miles of landscapes, fires that burn entire forests, and even quakes that shatter and alter the very ground beneath the species' feet. This world even has actively erupting volcanoes and even a new classification we have dubbed supervolcanoes, whose entire covered summit spans hundreds of miles across. SciFi speaks once again as the holograms continue showing footage of the disasters. Wooden objects piercing solid stone from winds, hurricanes, and lightning strikes. Earthquakes and tornadoes ravaging the land as fires and volcanoes are shown, making nearly every member of the council fear for their own lives just seeing these things. What the hell kind of devil world has the High Council found, SciFi? What in all of the holy ones has gone wrong for the universe to birth such an atrocity? An oilynx, a bipedal owl-like creature, asks. But that's the thing. Nothing was wrong. We of the Council believe this world has existed as a counterbalance to everything else good in the galaxy. Where one species thrived, another on this world didn't. Where one species died, another was born here. But that, the planet itself, is nothing when we compare it to the dominant species of the world. Scrizel says as he pulls out a small orb from his robes that floats up and brings up a huge display showing a nearly hairless bipedal creature with 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and diagrams of organs, range of motion, even diagrams of its entire internal system, shocking every species in the room, who immediately begin staring in fascination, horror, and wonder. Some species even stare in lust and primal hunger at the vulnerable-looking species. I asked for your attention here. I know how these species look, but believe me when I say that these human beings, are far from helpless. Scrizel speaks as the orb that showed the diagrams and medical knowledge soon changes to showing these creatures in various activities. Everything from fighting huge forest fires to 2 or more humans in what appears to be gladiatorial matches beating each other into unconsciousness. Speeding vehicles smash into corners and flip as they race these metal coffins around designated tracks and crash large vehicles into one another or smaller ones. Even a large reptilian-looking metal behemoth that breathes fire, then grabs and eats other metal vehicles of transport. The videos switch to shots of combat between the species and how they devastate each other with their weapons, ranging from knife fights, fist fights, and even weapons that spit fire and cause entire holes to be blown in their enemies. Some who lost limbs to explosive devices or have holes inside them still continue to fight back against attackers. One video shows a species resembling the Guzvaldi mauling a human being, leaving him bleeding and having huge gashes and missing chunks of himself, who after the attack gets back up and heads to seek medical attention. This species, calling itself human beings, are just built different. Everything you see here is footage captured by our drones and archives of data these humans have kept of their own past, so they do not repeat the mistakes they made previously. We have footage ranging from their mating habits to fights to everyday life and then some. This species was forged out of the wasted genetics of every other species on the planet that, in the gestating primordial ooze, cobbled itself together into a usable form. This species has even detailed its origins and evolution from what they call the Great Apes family, evolving from tree-dwelling apes to plain-striding early humans. They theorized that the planet itself created the entire human species for the simple purpose of being food for every predator species on the planet. They were born with no claws to hunt, so they created tools. They had no fur for warmth, so they stole fire from nature. They were hunted by everything hiding in tall grass, so they evolved to walk upright and see them before being seen themselves. This species survived because of how they hunt, and they hunt by literally never getting tired. Imagine if you were Haloon grazing in a field and a predator alerted you, you'd run away. The problem is humans would simply follow you. They alert you again and you would run away again and humans would follow. This species tracked, hunted, and killed species of animals by outlasting them all in endurance and learning to throw pointed sticks and rocks. Scrizel spoke as 3D imaging showed just what he was talking about, causing a few of the Haloon species to faint or cower in fear. Predators that never tire and could track you for miles. Worst nightmare fuel to give them. Humans were spited by the very nature of their homeworld, and so humans evolved in a way to spite nature. See here, half of the species in this room can easily be exterminated by 2 extremely deadly chemical poisons, capsaicin and caffeine, my species included. Humans have a plant there on the earth that naturally produce them. Scrizel clicks a button showing 2 plants, shocking the council. Not only this, but the reason those plants exist is that they evolved this way as to not be eaten by any species. The plants are called jalapeno and arabica berries. Humans didn't get the memo that nature wanted these plants to be left alone and decided that just to spite nature they would still eat them. Scrizel says, showing videos of humans eating the plants happily and causing gasps. That's not the worst part. This species has also selectively bred the jalapeno plant with other naturally occurring plants to make hybrids with even more naturally occurring capsaicin. They bred it to the point one pepper species contains so much capsaicin that just one pepper can cause the extinction of every exoskeletal species on the council. However, to the humans it causes extreme pain and hallucinations. The humans, of course, still eat them. Scrizel speaks, showing a bunch of different humans eating the genocide plant and not even caring. The caffeine. They somehow found a way to concentrate the chemical by roasting the seed that holds it and turning it into a drink. Scrizel shows people drinking different colored liquids of what is called coffee, showing diagrams of how the caffeine was concentrated 1,000 times the norm in the plant. They are even able to eat the fermented cacao plant. They call it chocolate. It's considered a delicious snack. Scrizel says, showing large groups having muddy brown bricks in their hands being enjoyed as snacks by this species as well as a liquid drink. The human species has been classified just as insane as the world that birthed them. This species, however, has done something not even we of this galactic conglomerate of species has thought to do, and even the High Council has agreed that we will soon be working on bringing it to ourselves, Scrizel says as he brings up something that no one seems to understand. The humans of Earth are technologically attuned to the point they are already exploring the other planets of their system. We captured a probe they sent that had all the information we could ever want on them, including language, translations, diagrams, and stories of battles past. They even created a strange thing called the Internet, which is a massive interconnected network of nodes and information caches worldwide that anyone at any time can access with the right equipment. This Internet holds the entirety of the humans' collective knowledge on, well, everything. It's a massive data store that is actively updated, improved, and worked on to the point they are even experimenting with augmenting the very fabric of their perceived reality with digital information, Scrizel says as he shows humans wearing headsets that, while not transporting the human itself, it transforms the world around them into something new for them to enjoy, bringing awe and wonder to other species. This Internet is also a store of many interesting things. The Internet has many rules to follow, but one universal rule known the world over is one dubbed Rule 34. That rule in particular, based on translation with the help of the probe we caught named Voyager 1-inch, states, Rule 34. If it exists, there is porn of it, no exceptions. Now this is obviously hyperbole, right? Humans don't know of alien species, right? That is correct. But humans have before any other species theorized about the existence of alien life and theorized what those species could or would look like. They archived them on the Internet through art pieces and drawings, like this one. Scrizel says as he pulls up images from a human website. The images shown are mostly harmless but very, very explicit, showing many varying different species that all call this galaxy home. As you can see, the human species has a mind forever curious of the universe around them, and by sheer luck they have somehow guessed somewhat accurate depictions of many of the species in this room. They also express interest in mating with these depictions as seen by these humans in what is called a comment section, and humans have no shame dressing up as though they were these species. Scrizel continues as he shows images of humans wearing full suits to turn themselves into facsimiles of these various species. But be warned, if you do try and mate with humans, they may seem vulnerable, however they are anything but. This here is how human muscles work. Scrizel says, showing an animated depiction of a group of muscles working in tandem to expand and contract to facilitate movement, showing they work like levers, giving humans untold strength beyond what normal species have. They grew this kind of muscle because otherwise they could not survive the gravity of their own planet. Its gravity is 9.32 meters per second, meaning 9.32 meters squared. The planet Earth has a gravity 2.465 times the galactic average, and humans see this as no big deal. Not only that, but the clips I showed of their version of warfare, yeah, that is merely a light skirmish between two countries. The humans who lost limbs and had holes shot in them? Even the one man mauled by that quadruped species who got up, it's because of another deadly chemical that can quite literally cause death to nearly all the species here, so much so that it was declared that production from any source would be considered treason and result in banishment from the Galactic Council. Yes, I speak of adrenaline, the potent chemical that send even the weakest amongst us into a violent killing frenzy that would take a full security detail to stop. Scrizel says as he shows the diagram of a human brain showing one very tiny portion before a label comes up calling it by name. This is the human adrenal gland located in the brain, Under extreme duress, stress, and damage, this tiny gland floods the human body with enough adrenaline to kill 10 full-grown Dysclixian warrior caste. It does this to keep the human alive long enough to find medical attention. Humans evolved a gland to produce a chemical that makes them nearly unkillable simply to survive the bullshit their own planet throws at them. This species defies logic and reason and calls the very concept of what it takes for life to form into question. We of the High Council brought this species to attention now for the simple reason that we need you all to understand that you are not to engage humans in any form of combat or contact. Skrizel says as another diagram shows up showing a large invading fleet of starships as it seems to be nearing planet Earth. We say this because humans are quite literally just built different and they may not be around very long. An invading force of Reavers from the Andromeda Galaxy have arrived and set their sights on Earth as a staging point. We cannot contact Earth because we all need to prepare for the inevitable galactic war approaching. The only thing we can do is hope that humans being built different is enough to stall the Reavers and buy us time to gather the forces we need to fight them. This council is hereby dismissed. Alert your ruling governments of the incoming threat and the species who are unknowingly about to hold the line for us all. Skrizel says as he walks away to an elevator ascending to an upper floor, leaving the visual display of Earth and all the information on Earth free to be transmitted. The Galactic Council mourning what possible could have been a very welcomed or hated addition to the galaxy at large.